Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. So for today's sketch video, we're going to be using this very simple sketch here, and I will have a link below to where I found it on Pinterest, or if not Pinterest, to at least the blog or wherever it leads. So I'm using the Kaiser Craft Christmas Edition paper, and this paper is got like a cream, black, white theme, and what I liked about it was so unique as far as Christmas, you know, of how papers normally look. So we're just getting our cardstock ready. I cut that the black paper at 4 1/4 by 11 inches, so that way when we fold it in the middle at 5 1/2, we'll have an A2 size top folding card. And now the white, well, it's actually a little off-white cards that we're doing there, we cut to 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and the pattern paper itself we're gonna cut to 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I'm just cutting this particular sheet at 5 3/8, and I'm cutting it at 2 inches because these pieces we're going to create our scalloped edge using the scallop punch. And I always start in the middle and then do move to the right or move to the left. And I find that this method really works for me, and I very rarely have mess ups as long as I follow that rule of thumb by trying to start in the middle as much as I can. Okay, so now I think I said originally that I made it 5 3/8 long, but actually I made it 5 1/4 because I wanted it to be the same length as the pattern paper. So we're going to take our cardstock, our base, and score it at 5 1/2. And I use my Teflon bone folder only because I find that it doesn't leave like any streaks or anything when I fold my paper, especially on black cardstock. So I always make sure I use that. And then we're just going to start building up our layers. So the off-white page, we're going to go ahead and put that down. And of course, some days it's very easy to hit and everything is even, and then there's other times where you have to struggle a little bit, and tonight was one of those nights for me. So you'll just see me periodically having to peel stuff off, and because I want to get it perfect, and if it's not, I gotta pull it back up until I get it right. Sometimes I'll go with it, it just depends, but I really wanted these to look nice since they're for Christmas cards, you know. I don't know. So, and oh, if you ever cut your paper and you have like little fuzzies, just grab a nail file, go around all 4 of your edges, and it'll straighten it and make it nice and neat. And I know my camera is making it look a little tint only because of all the whites or the light colors, so just bear with me through this, okay? And we're just going to attach this pattern, the second pattern piece, on top. And then there we have our 2 bases. Now with the 2-inch strips that we created, I'm putting tape on the back, and I'm going to run this sheer ribbon with the gold on each side right up the middle. And I thought about doing like a pattern piece of paper, which you could have, and just put like a strip of that down. I had this ribbon, so for me I just thought it took it up just a little bit, you know, just made it nice and shiny and pretty without, you know, being messy by adding glitter and stuff like that, even though we will get a little messy in the end because of course you guys know I gotta add some splatter. But we're going to do the same thing with the second one. I'm once again attaching the ribbon in the back. I didn't want any tape on the front side because it is sheer ribbon, and I didn't want you to be able to see that. And I know on the front I am going to be gluing down a flower, so it's going to be tacked down anyway. And then I just grabbed the art glitter glue for the backs of these because I wanted to make sure that it was going to stay down, so I did use a mixture of the glue and the ATG tape. So here are the flowers. Now with the 12 by 12, the 6.5 by 6.5 paper pad for the Kaiser Craft, in the back they have sentiments and stuff that's already like what's the word I'm looking for? You just pop them out and you can just attach them to your project or your cards. That's what I did for these. I just made sure that I would go around all the edges with the distress ink, so that way it doesn't look so much, you know, like I just ripped it out the book. And then we're going to attach the flowers using my 3-in-1 glue. And then I used some foam tape to pop up our sentiment, which is wishing you joy, and on the other one is Christmas wishes. So then I pull out my Gonzai Tombi Starry Colors, and I was liking the two different, like the lighter golds, and this one had a little bit more shimmer in it. So I decided to just use my water out of my distress sprayer and get the color moving, and then I'm going to put it onto my little block, and we're going to just go ahead and flick on the splatter real quick. And at one point I do get a little bit of a glop. I try to clean it up using my towel. I actually made it a little bit like more like a smudge. You could see it, but because it's a light gold, it's not terribly noticeable. And the little bit of splatter that we have, it just gives it a little bit of an accent. Once it dries, it does dry back a little bit, but like I said, when you tilt it in the light, that's when you see the shimmer with the splatter. So this set right here would be very easy to mass produce. The main thing would be just making sure you had enough of the ribbon and go to town, have fun. You could do this in the color scheme that we have here, keeping it subtle with the gold color, with the black and grays, or you can punch it up and use a color flower. Can you imagine this with a red poinsettia on it instead of the flower that we used? So there's a lot of different options, okay? So thank you guys for joining me. Make sure you click the like, subscribe, and share buttons. You can also check out previous card sketch videos here and here. And if you haven't subscribed already, just click on my photo. Thank you guys, and have a great weekend.